While there are a few FDA-approved treatments available for male pattern baldness, including finasteride and minoxidil, there's a real appetite for options with fewer side effects and greater efficacy. GT20029, developed by Kintor Pharmaceuticals, has recently released its phase 1 clinical trials with a really impressive set of clinical outcomes. No serious adverse effects, and a unique mechanism of action we haven't yet seen before. For this reason, there's been a lot of hype around GT20029. In this video, we aim to dissect what is the truth about the drug, and is it the breakthrough treatment that we've been waiting for? Before we talk about GT20029's mechanism of action, let's first discuss how finasteride helps to combat male pattern baldness to help illustrate the difference between the two. Finasteride, as we know, works by inhibiting the conversion of testosterone into dihydrotestosterone through blocking the 5-alpha reductase enzyme. This action decreases the level of DHT in the scalp, which helps to maintain and potentially regrow hair in men with hair loss. However, because finasteride has been proven to go systemic, both in its oral and topical formulas, it circulates throughout the body and can lead to side effects in some individuals. On the other hand, GT20029 is a topical treatment directly applied to the scalp that works by degrading the androgen receptors themselves. This innovative method could potentially be more effective as it targets the root cause of the issue of male hair loss, the androgen receptors activation. Also, its topical application is intended to minimize systemic absorption and thus the risk of systemic side effects. Now let's talk about the clinical trials. Back in February of 2021, the wheels were set in motion when China's National Medical Products Administration gave the green light for GT20029 to undergo clinical trials aimed at treating both alopecia and acne. Fast forward to August of 2021, and we've got the stage set for the first act, the phase 1 clinical studies. A group of 92 volunteers, both healthy individuals and those who were battling alopecia, otherwise known as hair loss, stepped forward to apply the GT20029 gel and participate in these trials. The researchers meticulously examined how GT20029 behaves in the body, its safety, and of course, its effectiveness. August 2022 marked a milestone, the successful completion of these trials in China, and the verdict, GT20029 was found to be safe and well tolerated. Some participants experienced mild side effects at the site of the application, like redness, itching, and dryness, but there were no major alarm bells. But what really stood out was that GT20029 showed barely any presence in the bloodstream, staying way below the lowest detectable limit. And here is what you've all been waiting for. How effective is GT20029? Well, Kintor says it was able to stop the hair follicle miniaturization process that occurs when androgens bind to follicles. This in turn prevents hair breakage, thinning, and shedding. GT20029 was also shown to inhibit sebum secretion from the skin's sebaceous glands. Excess sebum production is another symptom associated with the progression of pattern hair loss. And according to a doctor at Kintor, animal experiments have also shown that the efficacy of GT20029 is superior to other small molecule androgen receptor inhibitors. Now, success in China was just the beginning. In February 2023, the trials crossed borders and were recreated in the United States, achieving equally promising results. And with the success of phase 1 trials now in the rearview mirror, Kintor Pharmaceuticals has shifted gears and announced the start of phase 2 clinical trials in March of 2023, just several months prior to the recording of this video. This next step aims to cast a wider net, recruiting 180 adult males battling androgenic alopecia to test the efficacy and safety of GT20029 on a larger scale. As GT20029 is still progressing through clinical studies, it's important to bear in mind that gathering and analyzing data from these trials typically takes anywhere between 2 and 5 years. That's not even counting the new drug application (NDA) and the FDA approval processes, which can add another year or two to those timelines. As GT20029 is currently in its phase 2 clinical studies, it could take up to 4 to 5 more years before it's greenlit for treating androgenic alopecia. Still though, this is quite a bit faster than the average 10-year timeline for a drug to hit the market. And as for the cost of this new experimental treatment, GT20029, it's still a bit of a question mark as it continues to move through the regulatory and clinical trial stages. Given the encouraging results so far, including strong efficacy, few side effects, and targeted topical treatment, including low frequencies, GT20029 could very well be a game changer for those tackling androgenic alopecia, and especially those who cannot tolerate existing treatment options like finasteride. One thing is for sure though, we will be keeping you up to date on the latest developments in androgenic alopecia, including GT20029 on this channel, so be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more updates.